Welcome to part 3 of this series where we continue building our fictional high-end outdoor brand website. And in the last video, we focused on a hero section with a smooth GZAP scroll interaction, and this was built directly inside of Webflow. And today we are taking a slightly different approach. We are building another hero, but this time it's cleaner, more focused, but still with a strong visual impact. And the highlight here today is a 360-degree media element that we can easily integrate into our design. And the best part is we will create it in just a few seconds using AI. And I will show you exactly how I generate these assets and how to bring them into Webflow properly. This series isn't about building a perfectly structured website. It's really about showing you interesting layouts and techniques that you can reuse in your own projects. That means you can just copy and paste all the elements and also the animations straight out of this free clonable. I link it in the description. As you can see here, I also designed some different layout options for the tutorial. Today we are building here the classic 2-column setup, but if you need a more compact teaser element, then maybe you can also place the text directly on top of the media element. But don't forget, in this case, the position absolute element shouldn't be the text, but the media in the background. I already integrated a new section here, section hero teaser, with some padding on top and bottom, and inside we have our container large, and here we can insert a grid element. For this design we need just a 2-column grid. Here is enough. It seems like the left side is a bit smaller than the right, but I would split it perfectly 50-50. Maybe this looks better. So let's reduce or remove one row. Let's give it a proper name, hero teaser grid. And then we have 2 div elements here inside. The left side is the media wrapper, so I give it this name here. And the right side is not the media wrapper, but let's use content here as a name. And for the left side, we need our dark background color. So let's go to the background color here and let's use black. And then here on the right side, I insert our teaser title wrapper element with a heading and a paragraph. And it seems like it has it's a larger font size than in our actual design, but this is because I zoomed in 3 times, just you can better see the Webflow UI here in the video, but on the actual live site it should match our design font sizes here. Then we can add some padding top and bottom to this title wrapper, just to make sure that it definitely has some space to the top and the bottom link here later. But then we can also think about which side here defines the minimum height of this whole section. And the whole section should get larger if there is more content, but we can start with a minimum height. And this is something I would maybe use the content wrapper here for. Let's use maybe 80 VH here for a minimum height. And also then we can use Flexbox for the right side to align all the children inside. So let's use Flexbox here, and then vertically double click here in the middle. So it's space between the elements. And in this case, we can use just 2 div elements. One is in the top and one in the bottom. Here we have later our link block element. And then on the top, we have just a text element for now. And then we can also give this div elements here a proper class. This one is our teaser top wrapper, and this one is then our maybe teaser bottom or end, whatever you want. And we can style all the elements here later, because I want to move on to the media side, because this is maybe more interesting here for you. And we can start here by inserting a grid in the background. And when we look here in Figma, you can see I have inserted a rectangle and also used an image here as a background element and a little bit of opacity, but on a black dark background. And you can use the same technique here in Webflow as well. And in this case, I already have a background element here on my formbox side. So I just copied this one out and then straight into this element here. Let's use maybe just square pattern as a name. And then you can see this one is position absolute. So it needs a relative parent element, which should be the media wrapper element. So we can set this one to relative. And it also has some linear gradients at the top and bottom. And we don't need this for now, or in this case. And now you can see we have a pattern element which we could basically use wherever we want. And it's structured like with a background image, and I used a square SVG here, so it should be hosted now here in our Webflow assets. And then we can use a custom size here, in this case maybe 2 rem to make it a little bit smaller. And it's just repeatable from a position on the top left or a top center, and then it's repeating itself in all directions. It shouldn't be fixed. Fixed is maybe also an interesting use case here for a pattern like this, but it's not working on iOS in Safari browser, or it's just not fixed and then it's scrolling within the viewports. And then obviously you can play around with the opacity here. If you want to learn Webflow's powerful animation tools in a beginner-friendly way, check out my new Webflow GSAP Interaction Masterclass. It's a compact course that walks you step by step through the new animation system. Plus, you get a bunch of ready-to-use templates for your client projects. You'll find the link in the description. And in our case, the more interesting part is here a background video element. Because what I have in mind is that we actually have an image here in Figma, and this image has normally a black background color. And what's interesting, when you turn on a blending mode, like for example darken, or in this case it's lighten, if we have a white background, then you have to use the darken or the multiply. But the cool thing is that we also have those blending modes right inside of Webflow. So I thought it would be maybe even cooler to use this kind of jacket, not as an image, but as an animated video background element. And therefore we can use an AI like Grok, because Grok has a pretty powerful and fast image or video generator. And you can use it also for free. And then you can just drag and drop your image right inside this input field. And this jacket already has a black background color, but it's also an image I generated with this AI. So you could basically ask on every product image to make this product with a dark or a bright background color. And then you can switch here to video, and then we can maybe rotate the object 360 degrees in a circle for a perfect loop. And let's leave the other settings here for now, because then we can generate a 6 seconds video here, and this should be maybe enough. And this was now done in maybe 8 or 9 seconds, so super fast. Maybe optimize the end and the beginning. It's not perfectly looping. And then it's now generating a next video, and you can always go back to the original, and then you can basically generate a history of videos, which is quite cool for stuff for media elements, for websites and so on. It's now no longer animating this one in a loop, but this is actually also quite good and funny. And it seems like it's almost a better loop than the one before. But in this case, let's just use this one. And then we can go on the 3 dots and then scale this upwards. In English, this is maybe a different wording here. And it's now scaling this one to 720 instead of 480, I think. And it's also done quite fast. And then we can download this image. And in Webflow itself, we can insert a background video element. And then I insert our newly generated video element. It's now uploading. Let's give this hero teaser media as a class. Fill the full 80% of the parent element. Let's also use a flexbox here on the parent element, so we can align all the child text elements and also the video here inside and also here in the middle. Let's see if it's already here. Yeah, it's uploaded, but we cannot see the preview image here, and also not something here. Maybe we have to adjust the height to maybe 100%. Or let's give it a set index here. Yeah, that's a known Webflow bug. And I think the background elements from Webflow, they are always like a fit color. And if we have more text elements here, it's cropping the side of this jacket, which is something we don't want. So we can figure out the aspect ratio here of this video element by just going into our design. And this one is 600 by 929. And then we can go to the ratio here, use custom, and then use 600 by 929. And this should now work even without the height. And let's remove the height. It seems like it's working. Let's increase the width. No, it's now cropping on the top and bottom. Let's use maybe auto. Yeah, and this is now, yeah, this is perfect. So it's using the aspect ratio, which is what we want. So let's increase it to 80 width, and then we don't want a dark black background. And we can also remove our play pause button here. For the blending modes, we scroll down, and then here you have the blending effects. And now we can use not darken, not multiply, but lighten. And it's almost perfect. You see that we see some square elements here inside of the jacket. And the reason is that the jacket, of course, has also some dark elements inside. And this is maybe something you can also optimize with AI to give this some different lighting. But just have a look here in the preview how fast we can use an video element and turn it 360 degrees, and it looks just so cool right inside of Webflow, and it's super easy to do without any 3D tool or something. To fine-tune a little bit, we can use our square pattern element, and in this case just reduce the opacity a bit. Without it, it would be a little bit boring. I think it looks cool. It looks like transparent, and yeah, of course, if this would be a client project, they maybe have some problems if it's not a proper, perfectly lighted image of their product. But just as a demo for you, that you can make something like this right inside of Webflow with small tricks here and there. Then we have this large text element here, which is maybe also something you could animate in a marquee or something. Let's just use a normal text element here for this one. Let's use a media title as a name. This one is our hit marker condensed. Let's also use a capitalized weather demo text here inside. And then this one should also be above our teaser square pattern. So let's use a relative here and with the higher set index. It's maybe even position absolute because we actually want to use the black or the media wrapper here as a mask. So we can use overflow clip here. The hero teaser media title can have a even larger font size. And then we want to position it here at the bottom. So let's use bottom 0. And it now seems like the proper size of for a big title. But if I zoom out to the actual size of the layout, you see it's too small. And the reason is because we use the RAM unit here. And what we can do in this case is to give this media wrapper element a custom property here of container, container type, inline size. And then we can give the font a different unit. We can give it a custom value of maybe 10 container query width. And it depends on how much text you have inside, because I want it to go beyond the frame. And if I now zoom in 3 times, you see that the text is staying, and it's depending now on how wide the teaser media wrapper, the parent element here is. But if we zoom here to the actual size, you can see that also the pattern here in the background is quite smaller than here on the zoomed in level. And that's also because we use RAM here. Can we use container query width here on this background image? No. What can we do? Maybe VW. This is more depending on the browser window. Yeah, maybe 2.5. And then it's getting smaller with the jacket. Yeah, maybe this makes more sense. And then we can add a gradient on top of our font. And I think I have a gradient here on top and also one here in the background. Yeah, to just reduce the pattern here a bit on the bottom. So let's add a gradient here in our media wrapper. And this should be completely on the top. Let's first zoom in for you. We have our hero teaser media title gradient, and this one should be also position absolute. Let's give it a set index of 2, and then let's use maybe 20% as a height here, so it's going a little bit beyond the text. You could also use container query width here if you definitely want it to be always aligned or together with the text height. Let's insert a gradient here first, then we can better see what we are doing. Let's reverse this one, and then for the other color here, we could use transparent, or is it a difference if I put in some color and make this one transparent? No, but it seems like here in Figma, if I change the transparent color here to a different one, that it's somehow a little bit different than just dark or white. But it seems like it's a different behavior here in the browser. But I thought it's maybe cool to make it just not full transparent, but give it a little bit of a color here. But that means we have to also use another spot and give this the full transparent color. Yeah, and then we have a little bit of a yellowish color here in between. And then obviously we have to increase the height here And then you can maybe also change the position here of the beginning. And then we have our other gradient above our pattern. So let's duplicate this element and also duplicate the class. This one should be our teaser, here in this case, pattern gradient. And then we can move it to our pattern. A set index of 0 is maybe enough. If I go a little bit smaller, that the font and also the gradient is no longer connected to the jacket. And it's even a bit hard to read. And this could be a case that's definitely possible. And this is why we have to bring them maybe together in one inner wrapper element. So let's group them here. Let's give this one a teaser media inner class. And then we have to use a width here on this element, 100%. And because we have some position absolute elements here inside, we also use position relative here on this inner element. And then also your flexbox here vertically align the children. And now, if the whole section here is getting taller, this element is staying in place. And you can see here in the live preview that the jacket looks a little bit dark, and maybe we can also fine tune this a bit here directly in Webflow with the filter settings, but not a blur, but we can add a brightness. Not that strong, maybe 125. In the Figma here, it seems even cooler because we have a darker background color around it. Right now, if I go into the preview, this is not the case because our body color is this dark gray here, so not black. So how could we fix this? We could definitely give this section a background dark color here if we want, and then give our hero teaser grid element the other background 2 color, and then also some inner padding. In this case, how much space do we have? 40. Yeah, maybe let's use 40 here for now on all sides. And yeah, that's also looking pretty interesting. Maybe we have to add some more text elements here inside of or above the dark black color, so it's not switching the colors here too fast. But that should be it for now. I skipped the design part of all the badges and text elements here because they are mostly very simple. But please let me know in the comments if you are also interested in all the basic beginner stuff here with using the global classes, adding or creating the components and so on.